fall. October 12th is now the official release date for Dwellers. So people have been asking, when can we see it? So now we have an official release date. And then we'll put out the Rockstar Hitman Volume 2 probably around that same time, because these things all kind of feed around each other, so it's sometimes you kind of go, well, we don't want things to cannibalize each other, but at the same time, they sometimes the more talking points you have, it kind of it helps all of them keep moving, rather than to kind of, what is the saying, rather than putting out four fingers, just put them into a fist, and it packs a bigger punch.
I've never heard it, but I love it.
All right?
That's amazing. Hey everybody, welcome to Talkulture. I am Kid Cadet, joined always by the fantabulous and the sweetie Danica Janelle. How you doing, girl?
Very excited as always.
Awesome.
I had to think about it.
as you should. We're actually going to start off this episode a little bit different. So before we bring our guest of honor to the stream, we're actually going to be showing you guys the trailer for Dwellers. So at this time, I present to you Dwellers.
Welcome back to Rock Talk with Mitch LaFon, and it has come to my attention that filmmaker Drew Fortier, along with James L. Edwards and Douglas Esper, have been reported missing today. Details are scarce at the moment, but according to authorities, they were last seen 2 days ago in Canton, Ohio, where they were shooting a documentary on the disappearance of the homeless.
I'm so confused.
Oh, it's all going to make sense. You're going to get such a huge kick out of this.
No, you're not.
Wow. I feel like I've watched that about 10 times now. I still have chills. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so honored to welcome at this time the one and only David Ellefson.
Hello, ladies. How are you?
I'm a little scared now after watching that again. It's
Good.
Very impactful. David, that trailer itself. So I can't wait to see the movie. I know Danica feels the same. Right off the bat, you have already been selected for multiple film festivals. You've already won multiple awards, including Best Horror Award at Mad Monster Film Fest. What has the feedback been like so far for Dwellers?
It's been pretty amazing. It's, as I understand, a lot of these independent films, and this is a found footage genre film, so think Blair Witch meets Chud, if that gives you a description of what the film is. And, a lot of these independent films, will spend most of their budget, which are, all often for promotion. They'll spend most of their budget just to get into like one film festival, and we were very blessed to be able to get into 13 of them now, and they have, like you said, a couple of them we've won these awards. Drew just won a couple of awards for Best Director, so it's super cool. And as you saw, Ellefson Films, which is my production company, we produced the film. It was Drew's scary idea to do the film. And he's great. He's a good actor. I've got a small little bit part in the beginning, and then some of the story kind of goes around that conversation that Drew and I had in the beginning, where I got to crack the whip on him and get him to get my damn film done for me. And that's it. So there's a few narratives that run alongside, as any movie would. So we're super proud of it. It's very cool, actually.
I think I saw, or I spotted you on the tie of one of the actors sitting on the couch. Were you on his tie?
You would notice that. I should actually take a closer look. See, this is what we love about you. You have an eye for these details.
We do.
I'm going to look, and actually when we get off the call, I'm going to hit him and go, yo, dude, what's up with that?
I love it.
Yeah.
So you said you also got to act in the film as well?
I did, yeah. There's a scene right at the beginning where I don't want to give too much of this away, but Drew has, he's taken too long to get the film done, and since I've funded and produced and have the film up, I'm like, where's my film? So that's all I want to say about it, because it sets the tone of the desperation that Drew has throughout the movie, and it just kind of it creates a tension right out of the gate. And you know, we're both Midwest kids, you know, so he's like, you know, he's a nice guy, Drew is, you know, and so it's funny to see him in this film because he's you know, going down into the underground, if you will, this tunnel underground to do this documentary on these missing homeless people, and then he and his team go missing as well, as you can probably surmise from the opening credit or the opening, you know, dialogue there. So it's fun. You know, we've obviously seen each other. I don't know if I should call you by your real name or kid.
I don't care. Heather
Okay.
is the real name.
Cool. I didn't even know that was your name for a long time. I just knew you were a kid cadet because you've interviewed me at Comic Cons and things. And we've gotten to see each other at a lot of these events, and you know, they usually hire me in as, you know, I'm the, you know, the rock star guy. But it's fun now to go, and especially to these horror cons, because the horror con that culture works so well with heavy metal, and of course Megadeth. We've got very vivid graphics with our mascot, you know, Beck Rattlehead, and the covers of our records, you know. So, and Megadeth, we actually have a new comic coming out through DC Comics. And we've had a comic years back in the late 90s with a record called Cryptic Writings. There's actually the comic book guy is here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And he did four comic books that came out at the same time, and they were sort of themed around the lyrics of songs on the Cryptic Writings record. So, you know, but it's fun to come back to these conventions, especially here in 2021, bring something to the table, you know, like bringing the movie, and obviously Drew and I also wrote this book called Star Hitman, which is a fictional autobiography of a kid with dreams of being a rock star. He gets whisked off to LA, and he gets to do just that, but he didn't read the fine print of his contract, which said that, you know, although he gets to be a rock star at night, during the day he's got to do a little hitman work for the agency, you know. So
all right.
Yeah, which is not too far from the truth, because usually we sign these contracts and we're like, we got to do what? I mean, we don't have to be hitman, of course, but it's sometimes you're like, wait a minute, did I really sign my life away just now? Do you know, with this contract? So hey, you wanted to be a rock star, you know, so this is the price you pay for fame, you know.
I love that. I actually went on Amazon yesterday to try to find a copy of it, and there was only a couple left. So I'm glad. I think I snatched one up. Fingers and toes crossed. We shall see. But very exciting.
We've got hardcover, softcover, the Kindle, the digital versions, and then also I narrated the audiobook for it. So it's nice to have all the platforms, and the way we did it through the Ellefson Book Company. So it's nice to it's nice to have these companies. You just kind of put together these little imprints and be able to put this stuff out through these things. And what's nice about it is, obviously it's great for me and my team when we have creative outlet for the stuff that we do. But, you know, then I get other people that come to me, like when we were at Mad Monster last week in Charlotte, North Carolina, where we premiered the Dwellers film, and they were kind enough to bestow us with the best horror film award. But, you know, people are coming, oh, wait, we got a film company? Oh, wow, I got a thing. I got a documentary. I got a movie. Let's have a talk. So it's fun, because as creative people, and probably some of the people watching this, you know, we come up, we write a song, or we write a book, or we have a movie idea, and it's like, how do I get it from my mind out to the viewer? You know, how do I do that? So I like that with these, with my record label, with Ellefson Book Company, with the film company, there's kind of a pipeline to help connect that, you know. So, because nothing's more frustrating as a creative person to have an idea and then get sort of frustrated, going, well, I'll never get it out. It'll never work. You know what I mean? And then you get discouraged. And so hopefully through these, mechanisms here, that might be a way to help put the wind in some people's sails and help get some of their stuff to market as well.
I feel like you're the shining example that you can do it all. I'm like, what don't you do? You know, like you do it all, and you do everything amazing. And I think my claim to fame, because like you said, we've done a couple like conventions, and right. I always tell people I had my first ever cup of coffee with David Ellefson, and how many people get to say that? Because I
You
did.
can have another one right now, actually.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, Danica. There's your coffee.
Cheers.
Raise your glass. Raise
My,
your cup. There
coffee.
you go.
Yeah.
Yes, coffee. All right, Danica, you want to circle back to our
All right.
first
So,
question? Okay.
do we have any other further thoughts in terms of what could possibly be next for Ellefson Films?
You know, it's funny. Drew and I have a second film already basically screenplayed. You know, we kind of talk about, do we do a treatment? You kind of do a treatment for a music video. You kind of screenplay a film idea. But so we already have that ready to go. We're thinking about actually shooting it in April.
Oh, wow.
Do it in Costa Rica. We've got a fun little thing cooking with that. So, and then he actually has another film idea as well that you know we might get that into the pipeline. We've got Star Hitman 2, which is pretty much written, and that's I think we're gonna try to put that out probably in the fall. October 12th is now the official release date for Dwellers. So people have been asking, when can we see it? So now we have an official release date, and then we'll put out the Star Hitman Volume 2 probably around that same time, because these things all kind of feed around each other, you know. So, you know, it's sometimes you kind of go, well, we don't want things to cannibalize each other, but at the same time, you know, sometimes the more talking points you have, it kind of just it helps all of them keep moving, rather than to kind of, what is the saying, you know, rather than putting out 4 fingers, just put them into a fist, you know, and it packs a bigger punch. You know,
I've never heard it, but I love it.
Right?
That's amazing. So are all the films, do you think, going to be in the same type of genre, or are you wanting to maybe go in a different direction for the next film?
You know, it's funny, the found footage genre, which, you know, again, I kind of only knew of it really through Blair Witch, of course, and I knew there's some other stuff out there, and that's a little bit more in the occult horror genre, which,
like,
you know,
paranormal
cool.
activity, yeah, that kind
exactly,
of stuff. Yeah.
which is cool. But you know what I'm learning with these things is, you know, and I've made enough music videos over the years to know, you know, the costs of these things, just to shoot for a day or two and put everything online and post production and, you know, editing. I mean, these things are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And once you get union people involved, hell, just getting craft services, so you can get some sandwiches and a couple of hot dogs on set, you know, that could be 10 grand, you know? So, you know, and the costs just go up from there, you know, the camera and stuff. So, you know, in this, we're trying to obviously, you know, entertainment, without having to have a ton of, you know, upfront costs, at least as we kick things off. I say it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like Megadeth's debut album, Killing Is My Business, you know, cost about $8 grand. You know, the Grammy award-winning record cost several $100 grand. You know, 30 years later. So it's kind of you know, you start here, right? And it's you know, and it's organic and it's grassroots. And it's funny because even in Megadeth, people always want to go back and hear that cheap little album back there that we did, because there's a raw power about, you know, what we went in and, you know, we didn't have any other options, so it's just plug and play, hit the tape, let's go. You know.
Plus, it's a great, iconic album. I mean, come on.
Thank you. So it's funny how, you know, that you know, which I think plays again to the horror genre, is, you know, hey, blood is blood. You know, whether it's Sony Pictures blood or it's Ellefson Films blood, it's still blood. You know, so it's like that's what we want to see.
Amen. I guess, like, a question that I'd like to ask musicians and people in film is that there's some films that the soundtrack really leads the film. You know, it really sets the tone and the emotions and mood. So is there a film or a soundtrack that stands out to you that you feel like has the perfect soundtrack to the perfect film?
Wow, that's a good question. I sadly, I don't have probably an immediate answer for that. I do, you know, it's funny. Danny McBride, he's kind of become a bit of a favorite of mine, you know, on Netflix this last year. And I always love the music that he puts in stuff. And again, it's always kind of my flavor of material, you know. And with these kind of random one-offs, you know, Adam Sandler, of course, you know, so I do pay attention, obviously, when there's, you know, a film that's like, ooh, this has got cool tunes in it. I like this, you know. And there's some easy go-to. Let's play the AC/DC track right here, you know, and some of that stuff. But, you know, from the horror side, I guess I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But I will say this: Drew and I actually wrote a record with Vin Dombrowski from Sponge. He's the singer of the band Sponge, and Mike Heller from Mike Heller from Fear Factory. So it's Mike, me, Vin, and Drew. We've got a record, and it's funny. It's actually intentionally met as a companion to Rockstar. In fact, that is Vin on the cover. Just spoiler alert. That's our beloved Rockstar. Yeah, he was kind enough to let it. I saw that picture and go, dude, that's fucking badass, man. Can we use that? And he said, yeah, no problem. So he's awesome. So instant Rockstar there. So. But we did a record together, and we'll probably put that out in the fall as well. So I guess that's a bit of a spoiler alert. So again, with Dwellers, Rockstar Hitman #2, the group is called Lucid, and it's because I asked Drew, I said, soundtrack for Dwellers, and he goes, the problem is it's found footage, so you can't technically. It's kind of a conflict of interest. I said, no, I get it. It's not like you found the footage and suddenly there's like an Iron Maiden song playing in the background, so so we'll,
right.
I mean, it could be, that'd be an awesome found footage. It's,
right.
But so it is a fun way to, combine all of these elements of we're trying to get all five senses in. We haven't gotten smell and touch, but we've got, sight, sound, and I don't know what it would be, audio, visual, and being able to read, I guess, whatever that would be,
Yeah. Fantastic. How exciting.
So
Good.
tell us a little more
Good.
about your experience in working with Drew. And I mean, you guys have done all kinds of different projects and stuff together, including all of music. But, for this film in particular, what was that experience like?
It's funny with people because I like to collaborate. To me, I think 1 + 1 is 3. I think you're kind of greater than the sum of its parts usually. So I like that. I like it with music, with writing songs. Obviously, I like being in a band. I don't like being necessarily a solo guy. To me, it's more fun when your friends are there, like we were saying earlier, it's a party. Let's do that, So Drew is kind of an unlikely suspect. He and I knew each other, and I knew the stuff that he'd been doing. And when he brought this Dwellers film over, it was kind of like, whoa, okay, there's a lot. Don't let this kid's pretty face fool you. He's a demented little dude under that long hair. And that's why I hit him when I started writing the, Rockstar Hitman book. I hit him. I said, "Man, I need some good brutality and killings and stuff, and I think you're the guy to do it." So he sent me a chapter, and I was like, "Dude, there's the prologue right there. I mean, that's it. Like that just if you had to send a sample chapter, out there it is." And so we've just found a great collaboration. And look, the film is all him. I mean, that's really him putting that together and. It's fun now collaborating on an idea for a second film together, and I find that he and I work real well. There's kind of a funny man, straight man thing. I'm the straight man. I'm kind of the all business. I'm the rock star guy. It's like don't waste my time, and he's kind of the the goofy guy who is. He's kind of silly at times, as you can in the movie, even in Dwellers, he's got this good way of doing sort of self-deprecating humor, which also kind of it makes people feel comfortable right away, rather than this kind of bull in the china shop. He's got a likability about him, which is kind of a nice twist for a horror movie because it lets your guard down, and then all of a sudden something scares the shit out of you. You're not expecting it, which is pretty clever.
That's amazing, and we only have to wait till October, so that's not too far off. Like that's like tomorrow technically, but that's
so. My wedding is happening, and that makes me nervous. I'm already married, but.
So if it's all right with you, we have a quick game of Would You Rather. And obviously there's no wrong answers here, David. So we're going to get to the game. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, the first Would You Rather. Okay, would you rather have to drink your coffee with 10 sugars or drink your coffee with 10 creamers?
10 creamers.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, not even and it's funny, I don't even use milk anymore. Now I use Chobani oat milk. I got turned on to that over in Europe a couple years ago. They've got a really good, I think it's Oatly. They've got a really good barista one. Yeah, it's a barista one, so it's the thicker, creamier one. So here in Scottsdale, I buy the Chobani. So I'm all good with the creamer. I don't like so much of the sugar. If I'm going to do sugar in coffee, I'd rather do it with honey, quite honestly.
Oh.
And I was going to say, with all that you do, you probably need a lot of coffee.
Yeah, and I try to moderate it. A cup in the morning and a cup in the afternoon, like right now, and then I'm good to go. That's enough.
Then you are a stronger person than I am.
and I was going to say, I always hate asking for favorites because favorites is a hard question. But out of your coffees, do you have one that you typically go to more often?
Well, I go to the darker stuff. So Roast and Peace that's our flagship roast that we built the company on, and that's a nice, just rich dark roast. But we have some darker stuff like this combat napalm in the morning. That's way dark. That's like pretty much all French roast. We've got some other Italian espresso stuff that we did, like the Altitudes and Attitude coffee. So that's pretty dark. And so is. I think the one we did for Eddie Ojeda from Twisted Sister, that one's pretty dark as well. So there's definitely some good gritty stuff in there if you like that.
Amazing. All right, here's the next one. Danica?
All right. Would you rather face off against Jason Voorhees or face off against Freddy Krueger?
Oh, Jason for sure. Because look, Freddy right there, I mean, just he reaches out, he slashes your head. Like, that's not even a contest. At least Jason, he's only got the one blade. You got a chance, Man, he's got a mask on, so maybe you can like double around behind him and and totally like tump him to the ground.
Okay. I mean, that's a new tactic, David. It hasn't worked yet, but you never know. The next one.
Well, hey, Brazilian jiu-jitsu is popular, so I think you could jiu-jitsu Jason. I think, but Freddy, yeah, you're not even a chance.
Fair. I love that. Jiu-jitsu Jason. That's the name of the next film, actually.
Exactly.
Crazy. Starring Kane Hodder. All right, here's the next one. Would you rather have to hotwire your car every time you drive or lock your keys in your car once a week?
Oh, jeez. Got it. I'd say lock your keys in the car one time a week. God, that sucks, though, because then you're calling AAA. That does suck. But fortunately, I don't know about you ladies, but the car I have, it's pretty hard to lock the key in because hardly any car anymore has a key. It's all some electronic thing, right? And usually it won't even start or the doors won't even lock as long as the key's in the car, right? So if I got that exclusion, modern technology, I'd take key once a week. But assuming this is kind of old school,
yeah,
I think I'd have to go with hotwiring the car.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'd have to do that.
That's
I really
very
like
badass.
this comment from Vernon that says hotwiring is cool until Jason comes after you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then you got
I
to
love it.
jiu-jitsu and hotwire at the same time.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a whole new style. Hasn't been
Total
invented yet, but
we got a leg out here and you're hotwiring over here, and yeah.
love it. All right, here's the next one.
All right. Would you rather have your next movie be a murder mystery or the next Ellefson Films movie be a classic sci-fi remake?
Ooh. Well, look, I like the murder mystery. And maybe just because at the level we're at as a film company, that's easier to do. Big picture, long range, I would love to do a sci-fi remake. I love sci-fi movies. They're scary. They're haunting in a very weird way, that we all know. They're uncomfortable to watch because you just feel at any given moment something's going to come out and slash or take or kill or eat one of the characters, so... And that's like a lot of big stuff like, plants can come down and eat people. And, so you've got inventive killings with sci-fi.
Is there a classic sci-fi movie you would like to remake?
I read a Robert Heinlein book called Farmer in the Sky. And from it, I actually wrote the Megadeth song Foreclosure of a Dream. I wrote the lyrics for it. And it's funny. I would like to maybe do a film version of that. I think would be kind of cool. So
awesome.
That's kind of where my mind would be with that one.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, here's the next one. Would you rather, beat the headline act after being awake for 48 hours or try to sleep after drinking Cuban coffee?
Well, I've already done the headline thing after 48 hours, right? I've flown somewhere and been awake. I remember flying to Germany. That was terrible. Day of show. And just, arrive, jet lag is the equivalent of losing a day of sleep and having to walk on stage as like a zombie, just going, oh my God. And somehow, fortunately, you kind of kill the parts. You put the song so many times. You just kind of go into autopilot. So fortunately, it works. But honestly, I think I'd probably rather try to sleep after drinking some Cuban coffee. I think I'd be up for that challenge.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, that's crazy. Haven't tried it. I've only had the one cup so far. That's not going to be number 2. Yeah? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
More for you, Danica. All right. Here's the next one.
All right. Would you rather write the soundtrack for a horror film or create the next iconic horror character?
Ooh, I'd say create the next iconic horror character. Because I've already written soundtrack stuff for various films and, Beavis and Butthead and Bill and Ted and, various things, right? So I think I'm up for the iconic horror character. And in some ways, I guess Megadeth, Vic Rattlehead, our mascot, he already is that as well. But to do the next one, like it's kind of a big, like a horror film and horror culture character, I'd be up for that.
Okay, exciting.
Yep.
All right, here's the next one. Would you rather, play on the soundtrack of every Tom Hanks movie or play on the soundtrack of every Robert De Niro movie?
I think I'd have to go for De Niro. A little darker. Tom Hanks plays such a wide variety of characters and movies. I mean, you're doing, what do you do? Polar Express to, what was the one where his plane crashed and he's got Mr. Wilson and
Castaway.
Castaway.
Yeah. So while it would be challenging, De Niro, you kind of, there's a groove there. I think there's a genre that I would fit better with. And plus, I love both of them. They're amazing. But yeah, there's of course you could always do, meet the Fockers. Then you'd be up for a different challenge, right?
Jinxie cat, where are you? Yeah. I like it says David Ellefson and Randy Newman do Toy Story. Well, I mean, that would be
if you did the Fockers, you could do Fock Off.
Oh, yes. Oh, love that. Yeah. All right, we got 2 more. All right, next one.
All right. Would you rather listen to 24 hours straight of show tunes or 24 hours straight of sea shanties?
Oh God, which painful torture do you want? I think I'm gonna have to take some sea shanties because show tunes.
Not for you.
Just hand me the gun now. Let's just get it over with.
Oh yes, so yes. They both reach for the gun. All right, no Chicago free. That's fine. No. I've just been really into sea shanties lately, to be honest with you. So I would pick the sea shanties.
All right, let's
right.
All right, good.
Here's the last
we
one.
Can hang over there. Okay, good.
All right, the final one. Would you rather perform with the first band you ever saw live, or perform with the last band that you got to see live?
Well, considering the first band I saw was Kiss, the last band I saw live, I technically, I guess, would be Megadeth because...
You don't say! How strange is that?
Yeah, right. And I mean, actually, it was my own solo band. It was the Ellefson solo band because we put out our no cover... we did a cover record last year, and we went out and we did some shows, and that was fun. So... look, I played on shows with Kiss, and it's amazing. I stand on stage on the Kiss stage, and it's like a call home to mom moment. Like, oh my God, look, I made it to the big time, right? Remember that concert you took me to, the Kiss concert? Well, I'm playing in front of them right now. They're coming on next, so it's always a great joy, to play. It's kind of like, wow, I made it to the big time, But to perform at the last band I saw. I mean, in Kiss, I don't know what I would do. I can't breathe fire. I don't spit blood.
Can you fly?
I'm up for trying.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, look, I think, playing with Kiss, even if it's like Phantom of the Park, right? Remember that? I mean, that's actually funny. That's probably one of my, and I don't know whether it would technically be a horror movie, but I'm considering it a horror movie. You asked about a soundtrack. That would be it. Kiss, Phantom of the Park. Because it had all Kiss songs in it. So that's the soundtrack. So I'm glad we had this question because now I got to answer a previous question that you kind of stumped me on it.
Perfect.
Now I know. Now I know.
Awesome. Well, okay, that was our game of Would You Rather. And I have to say, seeing as my birthday's tomorrow, this is the best present ever, getting to just sit and talk with you. This is like such an honor.
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kid Cadet, show tune style. Happy birthday to you. Jazz hands.
Oh, yeah, jazz hands.
Well, thank you. I mean, now my life is made.
I had to do show tunes. And just as we're doing it, I'm going, oh my God, we're doing show tunes. We're not doing sea shanties.
We're not doing sea shanty? That's fine.
What the hell happened here?
So before we do wrap this up, David, is there any final thoughts you want to leave us with, or anything else, any other projects you can tell us about, or anything else that you want to plug?
Well, obviously, with all the other stuff that we just talked about, there's a new Megadeth album being finished up. We have a big tour this summer, Megadeth, Lamb of God, TRIVIUM and In Flames. That's Live Nation just put out an announcement, I think Tuesday, saying all concerts are go. We're going to stay open. Everything's going to be great. So as, per that, hopefully we'll see everybody on tour this summer. So let's hope that happens. That's very optimistic, and hopefully it keeps things going. It was rescheduled from last summer, so it'd be great if we could just get out and get rocking. So looking forward to seeing everybody out there. And hopefully, I'll see you two at some convention coming up. I do have a couple of cons coming up in April. There's, April, there's, I think, is it Days of the Dead, I believe, in Chicago. I think I'm going to go to that early April, and then at the end of April, Chattanooga. And then in May, over to Las Vegas to the Days of the Dead over there as well. So,
amazing.
So hopefully, y'all will be coming out to some cons somewhere. So
here's hoping. I have one in April and May, and then hopefully we'll see what happens after that. But David, this is such an honor. Every time we get to chat with you, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're
Times
welcome.
infinity.
You're welcome. Great.
Before we do wrap this up, though, we want to go over our upcoming schedule. So next Tuesday, we have Icarus Bell and also Lucas Rossi. Next Thursday, we have David Howard Thornton and Damian Leone from Terrifier and Terrifier 2. We have a couple weeks off. At the end of the month, we have Mark Farner, who is the singer from Grand Funk Railroad. And then we just found out that we're going to have Jeff and Albert Bouchard from Blue Oyster Cult on the 1st. So we're so thrilled. We have a lot of great shows coming up. David, we'll hopefully have you back again with, I'm sure, more stuff that you have coming out, because it just, we always look forward to it. But
content creator.
Heck yeah.
My new title, content creator.
Listen, it's a great title. And
appreciate it.
Once again, we really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you soon at a convention, on the road. And we'll see all of you guys next week. Be safe, everybody. Bye.